Greetings and welcome back to Photon Bricks, and a very special welcome to all of my new subscribers. I can't think why that would be. Normal service will resume of this video, so we're going to start continuing on the cleaning, tidying, dusting and putting the whole town back together. And as you can see, last time we got up to about here, and you would think logically that the next thing to do would be dust this row of modulars on the slight hill here. And you would be wrong. And the reason for that is that I've still got quite a bit of work to do back there on the railway area. So before I do that, I'm going to have to move all these modulars out anyway. Come on, focus. There we go. And I'm going to have to move them out anyway, so I'll dust them then when I do that. With that in mind, logically, the next place to tidy will be this Clifftop Park area over here. Because once I can clear all this space and clean that up, that's going to be a nice big bit of real estate that can have a lot of rides on it. So that is my plan for today. Right, that there is the Clifftop Park area cleared of chaos. And it's quite a large area, as you can tell. There are some other things over in the corner. We'll worry about those in a bit, don't worry. As you can see, the other thing that's up here, which I'm definitely not removing right now, is a wild mouse. Now this, as you can probably tell, is an adaptation of the red and white roller coaster set. And this is one that I'll fully admit is not transportable, because it would mostly just be a load of flatbed trucks. It would be very boring. One thing I have done though is try to make the station area look like it is a transportable thing that can fold up. In fact, all that decking and ramps does fold up. And you might just be able to see there, it is on a trailer. And we've got some parking for the mobile homes in the middle there, and a few more along there. And down here, we have our fortune teller. And now, I've got to do some ride dusting and some ride reassembling to fill this clifftop area here. Bam! And look at that, we have a whole load of stuff in place all of a sudden, including the beach area, which I'll get to in a bit. But first, we have the first of the large rides to go into this area, is an orbiter. A classic ride. It lifts up and the clusters of gondolas will swing out as it rotates. So it is different to a mixer or twist, if you like. And this is my own design. It does fold onto one trailer, amazingly. Just about. It's quite a big trailer though. As you can see, it is absolutely covered in over 1,000 1x1s. But also, as you can see, some of the arms are drooping quite a bit there. Not a lot I can do about that, I'm afraid. It's if you want to look realistic, it's going to be quite heavy. And that's why I've shown it parked at ground level rather than raised up in the air. It can be raised by turning that little Technic knob there, goes through gears to some actuators in the middle. I'm not sure if I can do that on camera, unless I can maybe get some B-roll of doing that and cut it in here, in which case you'll see that now. And now, for your entertainment, I shall attempt to raise the orbiter on camera. Drum roll, please. I don't have a drum. Just thought you ought to know that. Ta-da! And for an encore, I give you the orbiter lifted with the arms extended. And for an encore, I give you the orbiter lifted with the arms extended. So it can technically do what the real ride can do, just not with power. Everything can spin and lift, and this really feels like it's about to break. You have no idea that this entire lower arm is held on with a single click hinge, and just that little bar piece there, which is only held on with another clip at each end. I'm very tempted to lower that because I do not think that can hold the weight of itself up for very long, which is a shame because it does look great when it's lifted. But I don't want it to break, so I'm going to put this down now. And there you go, it survived, intact, first time without a single breakage. I promise. Yeah, it's a bit too tenuous in structure. Moving on behind that, we have, oh, you'll also see, by the way, I've moved the simulator over here. We have Stargate. Now this is quite a unique ride, I believe built by ARM, and there is only one of them. It still tours in the UK as far as I know. They attempted to make a second one, and in order to make it slightly less uncomfortable, instead of being stand-up like this, they gave it seats. I believe that one is called Mega Spin. I've been on it once and it was no less uncomfortable. But nonetheless, this is a ride I've been in love with. Well, no, in love's a strong term. I've had a relationship with this ride since I first encountered it somewhere in the mid to late 90s. One of those rides I always go and want to see it and then immediately regret and then remember why I don't like this ride. It puts all your weight on your shoulders with no G-force to hold you into your lack of seat, and if you're a big fella like me, that's quite uncomfortable. Now, one thing I have noticed is now I've got a blue wall. That Stargate there is suddenly a lot harder to read. Oh, again, the tile work at the back there has been, and I've just knocked one of the lightning pieces off the orbiter, great. That tile work at the back there is done by my missus. Again, credit to her for that. And what did I knock? There we go, that pink piece of lightning. I can put that on in a bit, it's not an issue. I could have knocked a lot of worse things. We still have quite a lot of space here to play with in this green area. And yes, there is a difference in grass colour there. I only have so many base plates to go around. As you can see, there's light green over there as well. Light green, bright green, hang on. Where are the greens? Bright green, there we go. Where were we? Yes, base plates. Yes, they are a different colour. My theory on that is maybe there's a playing field there. Not all grass is the same colour, and if it's a straight edge, let's call it a playing field. It's all going to be covered in rides anyway. You're only going to see a little bit of it. I'm not that bothered. In the back corner there, you will see I have a quarter tree. I'm not going to tell you how to build that because plenty of other people have done it already. And as you can see, I have started putting clouds on the wall up here. And if I move over here, I've made an attempt to try and disguise the light switch. Now, I must admit, my lady's not sold on this one, but I don't know. I quite like it. I've tried to keep it all pretty sort of smooth and flush to the wall so it will guide your hand around as you reach for it. And yeah, it seems to work so far. That is held on with 8 small command strips. I think for the clouds it's just 1 each. And so far, that is the Clifftop area. So we've got a couple of the bigger rides in. There will be others. That back left corner is reserved for, I don't know if I want to give it away, but my favourite ride ever built by the Germans. Let's just call it that. This area down here on the Clifftop, I'm definitely not telling you what I have there. That's going to be a special project coming up. That hasn't been done yet. But I might do a little bit of prep work for that now. We may or may not see that later. And on to the beach. We start here with the old fishing store. And I've made a few amendments to the boardwalk area in front of it. That will eventually match up there with some stone steps that go onto the seawall onto the promenade. Guy's got a nice big burger there and he's got an ice cream. I believe they're there because I had a lot of eateries and stalls up there before. I might do again. Moving over here, we have a Punch and Judy show. Got the puppets in there, and I believe the professor is inside that box. You'll just have to take my word for it. Little board showing you what time the next show's on. Quite a big audience there. Various kids. I think one of them might be having a birthday. Even dogs joining in. We've got various people all having a nice good time on the beach. We've got a whole family in their matching floaty rubber ducky things here. Well, I'm not sure if the dad's quite so keen to be seen in this. I think he'd rather be over here with these guys. They seem to be having a good party. And there's always some douchebag with a guitar wherever you go. And that guy's just been buried in the sand, look. I think everyone's got this sandcastle on their beach. It did come in the beach people set, didn't it? So I'm not even going to say that's my thing. We have some ladies working out there. Got a guy doing some metal detecting. Come around the windsurfer. Got a bit of beach volleyball going on. I've tried to make it look as dynamic as possible with all those clear pieces there. And over here we have Grandma and these kids playing about in the rock pool, looking for some little critters to play with. And I think there's something lurking in that cave that they may not want to disturb. We've got a few people having a swim in the water. I should point out with the water, by the way, I have been experimenting with different techniques for water. This is in no way the final design. As you can see, some different techniques got tried over here with the lighthouse, which I have built into these cliffs. And oh, you look at that, the red stripy lighthouse is something else I borrowed from Robin Hood bricks by sheer chance. Although I must say I did that well over a year ago before I thought I'd ever make a channel out of this. So that has been worked into the rocks here. I'll try to continue those steps up there, you should be able to see. And they go, oh, try and get my shadow off it. They go up there behind the tree and out there to get to the Clifftop Park. Speaking of the cliffs, they're nothing too special. I've tried to just make them look vaguely not obviously the same big burnt panel, so we've got a nest of seagulls there and some interesting white bits of rock. They are just rocks, to be fair. There's nothing too original about that. But if I can get up here and walk backwards without tripping over the other bits of Lego, that is what we have for this so far. Speaking of the lighthouse, you may notice that I have put the white shutters in place on the back there rather than having it clear all the way round. And that is mostly just to stop the big bright light shining out all across the town and the park and towards all the people who'd be sleeping in their homes at night. And speaking of people who are sleeping, something strange is going on down here. So what we have here, as you can see, is a strange hatch going into the ground. If we open it, there is a ladder. What is down there? Well, some of you may recognise this already. And this is a Royal Observer Corps bunker. And what this was during the Cold War, there'd be 3 unlucky souls stuck down in a hole in the ground, spotting mushroom clouds, triangulating their positions, and trying to plot where the fallout would go. Lovely. Well, as I've said before in this town of Northley, the Cold War never ended. So if we go down here, well, this is a bit dark and gloomy in there, isn't it? I think we can do something about that. And you know what? We could do with some light up there as well. Why don't we see what happens when we twist that tree? Oh, a noise starts. Well, would you look at that? The lighthouse has started up. So apologies if you can hear that whirring motor, because more to our purposes is down here in the Royal Observer Corps post. And the first thing you'll see here is a big map on a screen, so we can take that out and get that out of the way. And we have 2 members of the Corps sitting here, having a cup of tea, playing cards, killing time away. We've got 2 bunks there. 3 members down here, but only 2 bunks. They always hot bunked. We've got a Geiger counter there, can of Coke there. Got all manner of equipment at the back there, including a good old boombox just for entertainment. We've got a dartboard. Got some maroons. We've got the various telephones that would bring in the signal they never wanted to hear. And speaking of which, up there, it looks like we're getting an attack warning red, guys. This is serious. And it must be serious because this guy right here, well, he was in the loo and he's just have to run out without having pulled up his trousers. Can you focus on that camera? Come on. I know you can. Maybe. And it's only a chemical toilet in there. It's quite unpleasant, and that's why he decided to wear the helmet and gas mask while he was in there. But that, come on, focus. That is my Royal Observer Corps bunker with added lighthouse. I've just had a thought. I've set up the tripod here, looking at the wall on the opposite side of the room to the lighthouse. And I'm going to turn on the motor and the light, and we're going to see just how powerful it is on the far side of the room. So, hang on. Hopefully you can hear that whirring away there. And let's turn off the big lights and see what we see. Well, that's not bad, is it? That's pretty powerful, that. That's a lot brighter than I thought it would be. Of course, that could just be because this is actually just a mag light. That's all you can see. Can't even see it to the eye. So, as a quick explanation of how all this works, there is a 9-volt train controller under this hillside, the output of which is turned up to full power, the output of which goes to a old Technic 9-volt power switch hidden on brackets sideways underneath this hill here. The axle that goes through that connects to this tree, and we'll turn here, we'll see that's turning it off and on. And as you turn it on, you'll see a critter pokes his head out because I love my rats. I'll turn that infernal noise off. I do wish I had a better motor than that. So, motors. The output of that switch there goes from 9-volt cables to the 3 light bulbs that are in the bunker, and then a 9-volt to power functions cable that goes under here, where I've converted the lighthouse from being powered up to being power functions. I think I've got that the right way around. The power from that then goes to the motor and the LEDs that are at the top of the lighthouse. It's all on the one switch at the moment. Now, thinking about that noise there, I'm very tempted to put them on separate switches somehow, but that would be quite a lot of work, and I'd have to find a way to build other switches in other places. But I do plan, before I'm finally finished on this area, I do plan to pop up a plate somewhere in this zone at the top of the cliffs. Somewhere around here, one of these plates will be removed. And I'll then hopefully be able to sneak up another 9-volt cable for future use, ... I won't say why, but I think you'll enjoy it. So, I think this is where we are going to leave it for now. I've got quite a busy time with work for the next week or two. I work shifts that are random and irregular and would make a sane man weep. But we've got quite a lot done here, even if it is in a relatively small area. The whole of this beach has been cleared and tidied up and cleaned. Same for the fishing store. The water still needs a bit of work, but I'm going to do that all as one unit when I do more water later on, when it's all finalised. The lighthouse and rock post bunker have been cleaned, tidied up and restored to a working order with the lighting. I've even got a couple of rides placed in up there. And off camera I have got a huge amount of sorting of bricklink orders done. You would not believe how many parts I've randomly decided I need in the last few weeks when I started doing these videos. So I think we might leave it there for now. Thank you all for watching, and thank you to my new followers. Great to have you. Hope you like the content. You know what to do if you do. And for now, I'll catch you all later. Bye.